I'm going to make a bold prediction. I predict that Kylian Mbappe will score at least 70 goals next season. The thing is, I don't even think that this is that bold of a prediction. I think that this is an extremely realistic target for him. And I know, I previously said that Mbappe would score at least 60 goals last season. I said that he could even score over 70 goals. And in the end, he only scored over 40 goals. So my prediction was wrong. But that being said, my prediction was predicated on, number one, Madrid being a fluid attacking team. And number two, Mbappe being the top dog of the team. None of those things came true last season. I think the fact that he could even score that many goals is an absolutely crazy feat, and it just shows what a freak of nature he is. But let's talk about why I think that Mbappe can score over 70 goals next season. So let's look at it from his performances this season. So let's not forget, Mbappe had an absolutely horrendous start to his Madrid career. He only scored 6 non-penalty goals in his first 18 games at Madrid. After that, he was basically scoring a goal per game. So, if he hadn't had this terrible start to the season, he would be on like 55, 56 goals this season. For a terrible offensive side, where he wasn't even the top dog. There is absolutely no reason to think that he will start off next season terribly, like he did this season. He's going to start off next season in the same form as he was in the second half of this season. No reason to believe otherwise. He's not going to need an integration period. So, if he didn't have this terrible run, he would be on like 55, 56 goals this season. And next season, with a much better attacking side, and with him being the top dog, a 15-20 goal increase, it wouldn't be that big of a deal, right? So 55 goals, you add 15 goals, you add 20 goals, that would already be over 70 goals. But we can look at it from a more statistical perspective. So what is scoring goals exactly? Scoring goals is really just about generating XG and how much you overperform the XG. If we compare Messi and Ronaldo, Ronaldo is the better XG generator, but Messi is better at overperforming XG, at least in low-level games where it's just stat padding. But the thing about Mbappe is that he can generate XG on Ronaldo levels while overperforming at similar to prime Messi levels. In the 18-19 season, he had over 1 non-penalty XG per 90 minutes. The next season, he had over 0.9 non-penalty XG per 90 minutes. Since then, he has never played in such an offensively fluid side as the PSG side of those 2 years. But what's more, Mbappe has drastically improved his finishing in the last 2 seasons. Previously, he was an elite XG overperformer. Most seasons, he had an XG overperformance of 20 to 30%. But in the last 2 seasons, he's taken it up to the next level. Last season, he overperformed his non-penalty XG by over 40%, nearly 45%. This season, his XG performance in the first 20 games of the season was horrendous. But ever since the Athletic Bilbao game, he has been overperforming his non-penalty XG by a staggering 77.4%. That is comparable to peak Messi XG overperformance levels. So, let's just think of this scenario. Let's say next season, he is able to have 0.9 non-penalty XG per 90 minutes. And he has an XG overperformance of, let's say, 50%. These are both fairly reasonable predictions. This is obviously a good case scenario, but this isn't some unbelievable, unrealistic scenario. He can easily get better numbers than this. Last season, second 2/3 of the season, he had an XG overperformance of 77%. So 0.9 non-penalty XG and a 50% XG overperformance, this is not completely unrealistic. This is fairly realistic. So if we assume he plays 35 La Liga games next season, and we use that calculation of 0.9 times 1.5 times 35, that is roughly 47 non-penalty goals. You add 7 penalties, and that will be 54 goals. 54 La Liga goals. That would break Messi's La Liga scoring record of 50 goals. Now, let's extrapolate this over an entire course of the season, right? Let's say he plays 55 games next season. That would put him on 74 non-penalty goals. And let's say he scores 10 penalties over the course of the entire season, which is still fairly reasonable. It's on the higher end, but it's not unrealistic. That would put him on 84 non-penalty goals. Now, of course, this is a good scenario, but this isn't even some unbelievable best-case scenario. He can technically get better numbers than this. And while this is a good case scenario, this doesn't need to be this good for him to score over 70 goals. If he even has a non-penalty XG of like 0.8, and he overperforms by like 40% while playing like 55 games, and has, 7, 8 penalties, that will probably be enough for him to break the 70 goal mark already. And 10 penalties over the course of an entire season is fairly realistic. Even this season, he took 9 penalties, scoring 7 of them, even while sharing penalty duties with Vinicius Jr. and Bellingham. Next season, he is going to be the undisputed number 1 penalty taker. And Mbappe is the best penalty winner of all time. Vinicius Jr. is also an amazing penalty winner. So it's reasonable to assume that he should have a lot of penalties next season. Now, I'm not saying this will definitely happen. This is a prediction after all. But what I'm saying is that there is a good chance of this happening. Because Madrid being a better attacking side next season is extremely realistic. They've made a lot of signings, and they have a new manager who is much more system-oriented than Carlo Ancelotti, who's going to be coming in with a clean slate, who has a lot more power to change things. And there's a lot of reason to believe that Mbappe will be Madrid's undisputed top dog next season, giving him much more tactical priority, making it much more comfortable for him to perform. In fact, I even made a video about this, why Mbappe will be top dog next season. Please do go check it out. And as usual, please leave a comment and subscribe. Most viewers on this channel are not subscribed, so what are you waiting for? Subscribe now and get to see more of my amazing content. Alright, until next time.